Welcome to Garrador's Behind Garage Doors. Collectors, hoarders, whatever the label may be these days, some people have hidden treasures in their garages. Local company Garrador has been in the business of making sure owners' valuables were kept safe for decades, and was keen to show what some passionate local people keep in their garages.
Oh, my name's Wayne Spence, and this is my private collection, mostly Tonka Toys, but I've got 150 scale die-cast models of like construction vehicles, graders, diggers, etc. And got a bit of Fun Ho New Zealand toys as well. One of my friends, his father was moving house, and I went and gave him a hand, and there was an old Tonka toy sitting on top of a wheelie bin he was about to throw out. So I said, do you mind if I have it? He said, go for it. So yeah, just grabbed that toy, and yeah, it just all started from there. They were quite an expensive toy for a lot of families, so not everyone had a Tonka toy. Yeah, I just got into it at a later age. Like, the good thing is the toys are all 50 plus years old, so they've lasted this long, and you know, they'll be here for another 50 years. A lot of them are made with just a slightly thicker steel than probably some of the more modern ones today. Like a lot of the modern Tonka toys now got a lot of plastic parts, whereas the old stuff's all tin, you know. Yeah, I work in New Zealand's largest gold mine, and I'm lucky enough to operate, dump trucks and machines there, so to get to live the dream. I've got, I think the last count, about 500 Tonka toys. There's all different scales. You've got tiny Tonka, mini Tonka, mighty Tonka, which are the large ones you see in a lot of kids' sandpits. There's, I think, probably at least 6 or 7 different scales, all up of different sizes. I've got a little bit of everything here, but yeah, I've still got a lot more to get. Probably have about 3 favourites. It's hard to pick one because there's such a different range of different toys. With my mighty Tonka, probably my green bottom dumper. That's probably one of my favourites. I've got an aerial sand loader, which is quite rare. Definitely the 3-axle tip trucks, known as Big Mike, and they're quite a good truck to have in your collection. Yeah, I've got a pretty good eye when it comes to pricing toys, based on the condition, where it's from, and that. So I've been collecting for about 12 years, and a lot of my buying is all online from Trade Me and eBay. So I watch everything pretty closely and have a pretty good idea of what things are worth. Tonka toys were made in New Zealand, Japan, Canada and America. New Zealand Tonka is the rarest because New Zealand was a smaller place, so a lot of the American collectors really go for the New Zealand stuff. Some of the rarest stuff I've got is probably New Zealand stuff, and yet it is a common toy, like the truck I'm talking about. It's a mighty Tonka dump truck, which you see in every kid's sandpit, but because it's New Zealand, we did a different colour than what the Americans did. They mass produced it in yellow, but New Zealand had an orange and yellow version, which is just unseen anywhere else in the world. A collector I know, in America, he was once asked, what was your rarest, what are the 3 rarest toys you can think of? And he said, well, the black camper van in black is one of them. So I posted a photo of my one, and he said, yep, that's the one. So it's nice knowing it's one of the rarer ones. Yeah, I've got a good friend, Matt Johnson, in the North Island, and he started a page for Tonka collectors like myself, and if there's anyone out here watching this that want to join the page, yeah, by all means go on it, and it doesn't matter whether you got 5 toys or you got 200 toys. We welcome anyone to the page. So always love donations for the collection, but also if you've got the right toy and in the right condition, I will happily pay the going rate for it. So yeah, always looking for more toys. Definitely want people to come and see my collection. So yeah, Milton, South Kilwabertor, that's my parents' place, and they've got the Milton Butchers Museum. We've got the Tonka Toy Museum, plus there's the Doll Museum as well, and there's they've also got a shed full of antique kitchenware. So yeah, but happy for anyone to come and see it. About 2 kilometres north of Milton on State Highway 1, and if mum and dad are home, it's open. If no one's home, yeah, try again another time.
My name's Tim Hunt, just a local motorcycle, small motors mechanic, and just kind of started collecting the old saws 5 or 6 years ago, and I just kind of saw one on Trade Me one day. Thought that'd be a good road trip, go and pick it up, 20 bucks, whatever it was, and ended up going to Invercargill, getting it, and next minute, yeah, sort of discovered they're quite cool, they sound awesome, and before I know it, I got that. There's about 260 something in here, and another 50 odd bits around the place. But like in the recent years, the old vintage stuff of whether it's chainsaws or cars has really grown in popularity, and there's lots of people doing it now. So, and it is kind of like a dying thing, like the old saws now, they're not around anymore. So it's kind of cool to have them and sort of preserve them for future generations now, I suppose. Well, the oldest one I got is probably mid to late 40s. They didn't really make them a lot before that. The majority of the stuff is around the 50s, 60s. Oh, just very crude, absolutely no vibration dampening, super noisy, really ineffective, and really unsafe, pretty much. So, yeah, they've come a long way, right? Yeah, lots more power. They just, yeah, you can use them all day without sort of suffering and stuff. Getting harder to find, yeah, like people quite often just biff them out and stuff, and there's the other sort of things where people are collecting them now and their sort of value's going up, so. But you still come across them, yeah, you just never know. You've got to keep your eyes open in sheds and garage sales and stuff like that. And like when it comes to getting rid of a few, I'll try and swap them for other stuff, like quite often you get double ups and that, and yeah. Trouble is you can't get parts of them anymore, so you've got to make stuff and, you know, just sort of shag around with old half naked stuff half the time, but yeah, they're very fixable, definitely. I quite like the old Husqvarna down there. I've got an old, the very first model Husky ever made, so that's pretty cool. There's a couple other ones that are good. Some of them are quite sentimental, like been given to you for whatever reason, so they're the ones that are, sort of stand out. But yeah, all the old stuff's pretty awesome in its own way. I suppose bigger is better, with the vintage stuff. Like everybody's aiming to get the big old 2-man saws and stuff, which I haven't got one of those yet. I've been looking, but yeah, the bigger and older and uglier the better, I suppose, really. But the older stuff was built to last. Even the cheap saws back in the day were still, you know, pretty good quality, made of everything metal and stuff. So yeah, and like there was a few brands back in the day that were sort of better than others, as it always has been, like the Huskies and the Stills and stuff. Like you could almost guarantee if you get an old Still, it'll go. Same with Husqvarnas and things. So yeah, it sort of varies from area to area depending on which dealership was around in that place at that time. So down this end of the country, it seems to be the old Pioneers and the Canadians are quite strong. You get a lot of them around the place. Up country a bit, it was old Clintons, and so it does vary a bit branding wise, but I think the popular saws back in the day for the guys in the bush and that were the Canadians, Pioneers, and to a certain degree the McCullochs as well. So you tend to find a lot of that stuff that was being used in the forestry and thing back in the day, you know, there's a lot of it left around. And when we bought this place, this was like a hydroponics shed or something, like had tomatoes and stuff going in it, so I thought, oh, that's probably quite good for this, and just put some shelves in it, and yeah, boom. A few mates come around from time to time and they talk to other people, so I get people knocking on the door and want to have a look, and the odd person rings me up, but to be honest, there's not heaps of people come through. People think you're a bit weird. For me, it's not about the money side of things, it's just about having the saws and then looking after them and getting the old one going and making a bit of noise and scaring the shit out of the neighbours and stuff like that. Yeah, I just kind of like being able to come out here and sort of look at them all, and the kids, well, my boy, he's sort of reasonably into it, he likes the whole thing, and yeah, don't know, just different strokes, different folks and all that sort of stuff, I guess. Got a few motorbikes and stuff lying around, but yeah, nah, I'll just stick to the chainsaws, otherwise it gets out of hand, You end up like, oof, yeah.